Welcome, hackers. We've got a late breaking news story. Amazon is pulling out of New York City. If you recall, Amazon did this whole search across the country. They were looking for a new headquarters after some of the policies and some of the politics in the Seattle area where they're currently located just weren't favorable to them. They did this whole bidding process looking for a new place to have a headquarters, and New York and Long Island kind of won that bidding process. But the city and the community have pushed back. In a surprise turn, Amazon has announced that it's pulling out plans to open one of two HQ2 locations in New York City. The move follows much pushback from local governments and citizens who have pushed back on the company's proposed Long Island City location, cited tax breaks and Amazon's long-standing anti-unionization policies. Amazon has offered a lengthy statement to TechCrunch, which also notes that it has no plans to reopen its search for a new location, and instead will be sticking with already announced plans for North Virginia and Nashville. So this is a pretty crazy story because, again, Amazon went through this whole process of trying to find, a major city to be able to operate out of. New York was selected as one of those cities. And now the community and politicians have pushed back saying, hey, we're not going to give you these tax breaks. You're one of the largest, richest companies in the world. Your founder, Jeff Bezos, is one of the richest people in the world. Why are we giving you tax incentives to come to our community and completely change and potentially gentrify it? So Amazon has now decided they're not going to deal with it, and they're just going to pull out and double down on North Virginia and Nashville. This is a pretty crazy story. I mean, Amazon doesn't have a very good track record of, taking care of their employees. They don't have a good track record of paying fair wages. There's been stories and reports of, Amazon employees getting sick, not being able to take bathroom breaks. I mean, pretty much working under slave labor conditions. Amazon doesn't exactly have this reputation like Apple or Google or, Facebook or some of these other tech companies of, high salaries, taking care of their employees, massive benefits. Amazon seems to take the more of the bottom barrel approach and cuts costs by, paying people as the least amount of money as possible. So although they were promising, a significant number of jobs to the New York area, the question is, what kind of jobs were those? Were the people that were going to be fulfilling those positions, were they with locals within the community, or were these people going to come from elsewhere? So community has pushed back. The politicians have spoken. They don't want to give Amazon these tax breaks. They don't want Amazon in their city. And Amazon is pulling out of New York. So it is what it is at this point. So this is, this is crazy. These tech companies with, that make all this money, they do it potentially in some cases like Amazon's off the back of, what's close to slave labor. It's not right. So, these cities see Amazon for who they are, and they're doing what they can to protect their communities. They don't want to, open up their community to a mega corporation that's going to come in and change everything. I mean, personally, I've seen, what these similar corporations have done to the Bay Area. I'm originally from San Francisco, grew up in the North Bay. On one hand, the progress is nice and there is some advantages. On the other hand, it's heartbreaking to see the mom and pop shops closing down. It's heartbreaking to see the local artists and musicians and, the community that used to be here get pushed out. Many of them have just simply left California. Many of them have been pushed to the East Bay. So I've seen, the effect of these tech companies in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, and I can't blame New York. New York already has Wall Street. They already have, the financial industry. They already have a lot of this stuff. So for them to push Amazon out, I don't blame them. Tell us what you think in the comments. I mean, this is a pretty big story. So, this has a lot of implications. Can major cities push major companies out of those cities like we just saw? Clearly that is a possibility. So, in the future, what's going to happen when cities decide, hey, you can't have your headquarters here? Now that's the present. That's what we're dealing with. So again, let us know what you think in the comments and have a good afternoon.